Welcome to this Worldview Moment. I'll be your host for the segment, Barbara Holmes Brackett. As the 4th of July draws near, citizens of the United States are gearing up to celebrate the founding of our country with flags, fireworks, and friendship. It's a day where we march down our streets in red, white, and blue costumes and applaud our nation's affinity for personal liberty. But what we sometimes forget to celebrate is the origin of these ideals we have come to champion. How did we come to collectively prize freedom, justice, and equality? The answer lies with the first English Puritans to sail west to the world they had not yet known, the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims practiced Puritanism, which preaches that God makes a holy pact with those who believe in him. This pact, known as a covenant, serves as a promise that God's followers will be healthy and prosperous as long as they abide in his laws. The main objective for the Puritans' journey to America was to create God's kingdom on earth, a community that lived under God's law rather than earthly kings. The town turned to democracy to decide how the townspeople should live with the collective understanding that their existence was meant to be a form of worship to God. Religious life and political life were to be one and the same. The Pilgrims based their governing principles on the Geneva Bible, the first biblical translation to be printed mechanically and distributed to the masses. It used powerful descriptive language that resonated with readers of the time, and its margins were filled with study guides and citations to make the passages more accessible and personal. It was also the first version to translate the entire Hebrew Old Testament into English. The Pilgrims devoted their lives to studying and practicing the laws God put in place for them, and that devotion prompted them to find a new place to explore their relationship with God. In 1607, the first English-American colony was founded in present-day Virginia and named Jamestown after the King of England. During this period, James I required that all British citizens align themselves with the Church of England, otherwise known as the Anglican Church. But many English Puritans felt that it did not suit their own religious principles, and they disliked the king's strong disapproval of the Geneva Bible. A small band of them, called the Separatists, expressed the desire to leave England and find a place to practice Christianity as they saw fit. And so, 13 years after the founding of Jamestown, a ship sail called the Mayflower and arrived in America carrying 102 Separatist passengers. The Puritans hadn't meant to establish a colony in Plymouth. They were actually heading for Virginia under the permission of the Virginia Company of London. But a storm blew them completely off course, and they landed in modern-day Massachusetts. Many on board argued that this mistake made the contract with the company void. If they weren't in Virginia, they didn't have to abide by Virginian laws. This caused a great deal of strife among the passengers, almost to the point of mutiny. But the settlers resolved the conflict by writing a new contract that established their own rules for governing a colony. This contract was called the Mayflower Compact, and Plymouth Colony was founded soon after its signing. The Pilgrims went on to help establish the Massachusetts Bay, Saybrook, Connecticut, and New Haven colonies. They grew strong in numbers, and soon the English Puritans secured a prominent presence in what is now New England. Their influence led to spreading of Puritan ideology, and their investment in the country's foundation led to modern American desires for freedom, justice, and equality, the same principles God promotes in his Word. Modern Christianity is rooted in these same Puritan principles, but the nation as a whole does not seem to answer to them as they once had. God's law has been undermined by the law of men, and millions of people follow their own whims without first consulting the Word of God. But whether they understand it or not, we have the Puritans' faith to thank for the formation of America we live in today. Their commitment to holiness and freedom set the foundation for this country, and we stand in agreement as we wave our flags and sing in the streets that it will return to its roots as God's kingdom on earth.